Welcome into All Things LA Real Estate. My name is PK Knoll. I'm running point on this channel. Happy New Year to everybody out there. We are heading out to Alhambra, Monterey Park for your January real estate update. Obviously, 2023 wasn't the best year when it comes to the real estate industry, but we are optimistic about things moving forward. I am very optimistic about these two neighborhoods. We're going to get into all of that as we break down the numbers month over month, year over year, everything you need to know. We are scrapping homes that have caught my eye just for this month. We just don't have enough new inventory. That's getting a little repetitive. We'll be back on that come next month, but we're going to jump into everything you need to know. Let's go. As we close out 2023, not the best year in the real estate market. Obviously, we had high rates for most of the year, major inventory issues, and things have not shifted here in January, which is anticipated, right? We don't get a lot of inventory in general that hits the market in January because there's some preparations that go into obviously listing your home onto the market. And most people don't want to deal with that hassle during the holiday season, during the end of the year. The kids are home, things like that. So we're still waiting to kind of see those progressions come back. We are anticipating some rate cuts as we get through the year. The anticipation right now in the financial markets is we won't see that come to fruition until probably summertime, but we'll keep our eye on that. We'll see what Jerome Powell's got up his sleeve. But as we head out to Alhambra, Monterey Park, I'm very optimistic about these two neighborhoods, and we're going to get into that as we break down some of the numbers. Currently out in the neighborhoods, we have 26 homes available for sale. That is down 25% from the inventory we saw all last year in 2023, which isn't great because we were dealing with those inventory issues last year, and now we're down 25% from that. So we are really hoping that moving into February, March, and April, we can start getting that number back up over 30. Ideally, at some point, we get back into the 40s with these neighborhoods. And as rates start to drop and buyers get back into the market and home prices start to surge a little bit, that should happen, and it's the hope for everything out there. Minimum price to get in the neighborhood right now, $488,000. That home is a project. You are not getting any legitimate, neighborhoods on the east side for less than $500K without having to do a complete rebuild or at the very minimum put in a good, amount of renovations to a home. Maximum price right now on the market is $1.89 million. That is also the low that we have seen in months. We typically have a higher ceiling when it comes to neighborhoods out here. We're just not getting a lot of attraction on the upper end of any real estate market on the east side with rates where there are, with some of the tax changes we've seen here in Los Angeles. It's just it's just what's happening in the market. It's just something that we have to deal with. Our average price right now is $1.081981. That's pretty typical of what we see in Alhambra, Monterey Park. Normally, we're right above 1.1 million, so we're fine with 1.081. The median price in Alhambra and Monterey Park is $999,500, and I think this is the number that really kind of shows us where the opportunity arises when it comes to these two neighborhoods, because they are good neighborhoods, and they kind of fit into the bill of the big three things, metrics that I look for outside of the specifics of the real estate industry, which is crime, schools, and commercial, because they do have good commercial areas, they are low on crime, and they do have good school opportunities. So those are three things that I really want to focus on when I'm working on clients. But the real thing is the logistical analysis as far as the finances, as far as the neighborhoods around it. Because if you look just to the north and we look at some median prices in Pasadena, those numbers are at $2 million. And obviously Pasadena is one of the most desirable neighborhoods on the east side. But even if you look just west of there into San Gabriel and Rosemead, those median prices are looking at $1.25 million. Highland Park, 1.2, Eagle Rock, 1.5, Silver Lake, 1.6. So what you see is there is actually a gap there, right? We are seeing a gap and an opportunity for some actual prices to develop in those neighborhoods. And as people get priced out of Pasadena, Highland Park, Silver Lake, and the surrounding neighborhoods, they are looking for opportunities for home ownership, and you have to go somewhere. So why not scoot down a little bit to the south and get into Alhambra and Monterey Park? I think it has good potential if you're a homeowner for appreciation over the next 5, 10, 15 years, and you can really find some value if you're okay with living just a little bit farther to some of the main attractions, especially if you work on the east side and you can avoid that west side commute, which can be very daunting. Our days on market are down to 39. That is great. If we can see that number between 25 and even 45, we are happy with that. 60 is kind of that golden number when you start to see major price drops. Now, that number did drop recently as a few homes have come out of the market, and we have such a low amount of inventory, but we're going to keep our eye on that number and see if some price drops start to develop if we don't get the rate hikes that we're kind of expecting sometime soon. If we take a quick peek into January of 23, we had 14 homes sell at a 98% clip. So that just gives you some insight. January is going to be a slow month, just in general. Inventory is always kind of wrecking. And then 98%, what that tells us that on average, these homes were taking offers that were 2% under the list price, which is obviously showing that there's not huge buyer demand at that time. And we'll catch up on that number come next month as we compare it to see how things shake out here in 2024. But let's move on to last month. Let's see how things wrapped up in Alhambra, Monterey Park for December. Looking into last month is always a vital perspective, whether you're a homeowner or you're somebody who's looking to get into the market and purchase a home. If you're a homeowner, it's one of the metrics you can kind of keep your eye on to see if you're getting appreciation, if that's something you're tracking. And obviously, if you're a home buyer, it gives you the most relevant information if you're going to go out and start putting offers on. I highly suggest if you're somebody who's considering buying in 2024, whether it's in January, February, or March, or even October, September, November, December, start working with an agent, start getting a game plan together, start getting some extra professional help, some extra eyes on the market, because when the perfect house comes on the market, a lot of times you will not have an opportunity to wait on that. So you want to be prepared, get with the lender, see what you're qualified, re-qualify if it's been some time since you've done something like that. But all things considered, we had a pretty solid December in comparison to the rest of 2023 when it comes to Alhambra, Monterey Park. We had 29 homes sell at 102% clip. So on average, 2% over that list price. So what that means to me, if I'm a home buyer and I'm going out and I see a desirable home, especially one that just came out of the market, if it stays around that average median price for these neighborhoods at $1 million, I know logically I'm probably going to have to offer 2% over that list price, so $20,000, to have a legitimate chance of my offer being accepted. The 29 homes sold is very consistent for Alhambra, Monterey Park. Like I said, we didn't have that huge dropout in December. We might see it here in February, in January, maybe in February as well. But we'll keep our eye on that stuff month over month. Subscribe to the channel. We do this every single month. Minimum sale last month out in the neighborhood, $720K. Maximum was $1.53 million. So pretty solid there. We like to see homes that kind of move the ceiling in the neighborhood, because it kind of helps everything as far as the fruition of the neighborhood goes. Our average price sold last month was $1.072,346. That is our fourth month in a row that we've seen the average price be over $1 million. So it makes me feel good if I'm a homeowner in Alhambra, Monterey Park. This is the number we're going to keep our eye on as we progress through the year. And I've already kind of made it, pretty clear that I think these neighborhoods have strong potential to be the appreciators over the next, X amount of years moving forward. Median, as far as the sale price, 1.050, so very consistent with the averages. We bring in that number because sometimes you'll have an outlier that obviously can shift those numbers from an average perspective. So I want to give you some insight from a median side of things. The average days on market for the homes that sold was 25. For sold, typically between 15 to 35 is something that we see consistently, so nothing to worry about there. Quick peek in December of 2022. So in 2022, we saw the year end also with 29 homes sold at 101% clip. So nearly identical numbers. It's a year over year complete split. So everything is great in regards to that. As I mentioned off the jump, we are going to be skipping homes that have caught my eye. For those of you who follow along month after month, that's usually everyone's kind of favorite segment, but we just have not seen the new inventory kind of rotate in. So I'm going to give it one more month before we jump back into all of that stuff, so I can give you some new perspective on some new homes. Thank you so much for watching the video. We do this every single month for almost every neighborhood on the east side. We're doing Pasadena, Silver Lake, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Glendale, La Cañada, El Sereno, Cypress Park. The list goes on and on. So like and subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. If you're somebody who's looking to purchase a home on the east side of Los Angeles or sell your home, I am happy to help out with you. Reach out to me. You can send me a direct message online, or all of my phone numbers are listed. Even if you're somebody who's hesitant with 7% interest rates, that puts us in the same boat. It always helps to start preparing for future opportunities because you don't want to miss the boat there. We will tread lightly. We will look for value, and we will get it done. I also do a ton of other videos. I get into the schools. I get into, the restaurants in the neighborhood. I get into the attractions in the neighborhood. I do some other fun videos like quick cribs. So once again, like and subscribe if you are so inclined. Have a great day. Be kind. Yeah.